prize goes to Jahmyr Gibbs. He's the NFL's ultimate red zone back and your leader in rushing touchdowns. It's the Lions and the Vikings, and it's all just
sports
ahead
coverage of the National Football League is on the air. Along with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, we look at this Lions team entering play. They come in off a good win on the road, and now they hit the home opener at 1-0.
And the offense, my goodness, over 50 points in the win last weekend. When you do that, you're not going to lose very many games, maybe not any games.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Vikings, they too were winners last time out, so something's got to give here.
I love it when both teams come in off of wins. Great mindsets, and it usually leads to a really well-played game.
Two teams here fresh off Week 1 victories. Who can keep it going as we're underway on EA Sports? And able to get this out to the 25. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. And they'll be led out by their third-year quarterback.
And he certainly had his share of struggles in the opener, threw a couple of ill-timed interceptions in the game. So that was something that was harped upon all week in practice. Because if he's going to help this team be a winning one, he can't give the football away like he did last week.
To throw on the first play, McCarthy. And his first pass is incomplete. Rondell Moore, the intended target. And it's second down. You talk about this Lions defense. We know they're going to be tough to throw on. Top 3 in the NFL defending the pass.
And hey, they were stingy in the opener. Didn't allow much of anything at all through the air. So now they come into week 2 saying, hey, let's see if we can do even better. Let's go ahead and get to that number 1 spot. Whenever I see a drop like that, I have to kind of take a step back and check myself a little bit. So used to seeing those big guys make big-time spectacular plays that when they drop one, I have to remind myself, we ask a lot out of these guys. Block.
And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Nolan Smith brings him down on the pass rush.
Well, the pass rush has been a real strength of late. They know how to get after the quarterback.
Absolutely. 4 sacks last week. That's their first one here. Anything in particular you've seen from them or on film?
I think that they're winning athletically up front, winning those one-on-one battles, but also when the offensive line wants to keep everyone in and mass protect, they know how to scheme their way back to the quarterback as well.
So here are the Lions now coming out for their opening drive. And they will be led out by their 6'3" quarterback.
You want to talk about a driven player, partner. This guy is absolutely that person. He doesn't just have goals in this game. He wants to be remembered among the best to play the position, and he treats every game as an audition for that. It's a lofty goal to set for yourself, but we've seen his drive lead to some impressive games from him. Perhaps another one is in store today.
And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. It's a loss of 4 on the first down play. This defense for the Vikings, terrific last week in the season-opening victory.
I have to admit, I was extremely impressed by what I saw on tape because they stayed in the face of the quarterback the entire game, ended up getting 4 sacks total, and made it difficult for him to step up and find receivers downfield. Also made it hard for him to escape the pocket and run.
They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets him up for third down.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
That's good for a first down, his second catch of the opening drive.
I like that one, partner. They go back-to-back with excellent gains, and really it shouldn't be a surprise who they were throwing the ball to. He's their best guy.
Yeah, we knew that they would get him involved early. They're doubling down on getting him involved early.
Don't be surprised if they'll come right back to him again. They haven't shown the propensity to be able to stop him.
On 1st and 10, here's Gibbs. And very little there. He might have gotten a yard. Yeah, I think he got a yard to the 41. The numbers for Gibbs from last week, just downright unbelievable. I mean, when you amass that many yards, I don't know what else to say.
Personally, I thought it was a game for the ages for him. Ripped off some long runs in that contest, didn't he?
He did indeed. Some very long runs, and that total, scary. A little short pass here taken in by Laporta. Busting through contact. Just wasn't a huge hole there for him to operate. Stopped just inside the 35-yard line. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. Here's Stroud. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he is going to have a Lions first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. Well, they clearly wanted to come out, Charles, and be aggressive throwing the football, and they've been pretty efficient along with that aggressiveness. He's now 4 of 4 on this opening drive.
Yeah, and that's led to a fresh set of downs. I like what he's doing back there. You can tell he's at ease. Feels good about what he's doing. I think if I'm the play caller, I'm reading that. I'm continuing to let him throw the football.
That's complete. It's Neighbors. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and that's going to bring up second down.
A 6-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 4 at the 13-yard line.
And Stroud now to throw. And that one incomplete, but now a penalty flag coming in late. That might be PI.
Defense.
A little too aggressive defensively, and the flag comes out.
And no one trying to cover is going to like a call going against them, but you have to like the effort there. Went for the interception, just unable to get it, and the flag did come out.
A shotgun snap to Stroud. He's got his man. It's caught for a Lion touchdown. Malik Neighbors, his second touchdown on the season. And the Lions get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. Good start to the season for him. He had the touchdown last week in the opener and a second one in week 2 now.
How about the pace he's already established, right? Not sure he can keep it up for an entire season, but don't burst the bubble because he thinks that he can.
Do guys go into a season with a goal for touchdown scored or yardage? What do you think?
I think every single one of the guys who's going to touch the football, they all have those types of goals. They all have those types of thoughts. And then they just have to see how the season unfolds if they can stay with it.
Unfolding so far so good for him. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. The Vikings taking the field here for their second drive of the game. Early on, you know, Charles, every game could be called a measuring stick game. But I think when it comes within your division like this, it's a measuring stick game with a little extra intrigue.
I would agree with that totally because all division games have a little extra to them. But I like where this game is situated because at this stage of the season, it has that little extra juice, but at the same time, it's not a make or break if this were, let's say, week 15, 16, somewhere in that neighborhood.
These are his numbers from last week's contest. 15 carries, 104 yards, and a score as well.
But they set a nice tone in week 1. He's among the leading rushers in the league. I think that they continue to feed him the football and continue to establish the running game so they can get to play action and throw the ball deep later on.
And he'll be brought down right around the 37. Now I think we're going to get a timeout here. Yes, a timeout here as it looks like we've got a Lion that's shaken up. Well, now they're going to come out and take a look at this injury, and we'll be back in a moment. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Here's McCarthy. That's caught by the big tight end, T.J. Hockenson. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be left with a second and about a foot.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
They'll buy some time right. When in doubt, do it yourself as he keeps it for 3 and a first down.
As he came to the line of scrimmage, he knew he didn't need much to reset the chain, so when he saw the space he needed, no hesitation. He went to the marker and got his guys a first down.
This will be caught downfield by Moore. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. That one goes for 24 yards.
But one of the ways that quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field, and here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
Mason going to get it on first down. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. Kirby Joseph there to drop it. He was solid last week, over 100 yards in their victory on the ground. They want to get that going again.
Absolutely. What they also understand is that from week to week, it's not necessarily the same, but they want it to be, right? What they saw last week on the ground, they want to see in this game as well.
Now throw right side here, going to be incomplete.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone, and there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
He's got the connection to Moore. And he's going to be a yard short. Needed 4, but got 3.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game, but it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. Third down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go and make the tackle right away.
They'll run for it with Mason, and he is not going anywhere. They stop him for no gain. He needed 2. He barely got back to the line of scrimmage, and the Lions will take over. Well, I guess they wanted to get that touchdown right back on their first drive, but failed to do so.
And what they have to be careful of is pushing so hard to stay right there, to stay even with their opponent, that they gas themselves out. You know, it's almost like horse racing. Sometimes you don't want to take your horse right to the front and let them do all the work, and then someone catch them at the end and pass them up. You want to make sure you moderate what you're doing along the way and then go for the big finish.
Stroud to throw it. That throw taken in by Jamison Williams. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards, and it'll be second down. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
Throwing now is Stroud. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Now let's see how the offense still out there. They elect to go on 4th and 11. Now on 4th down, we've got a whistle here and a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Jack Fox out to punt here on 4th down. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. Fair catch taken just inside the 40-yard line. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. Looking to throw McCarthy. Flushed out right. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. He'll get just a yard on the scramble in second down.
That's an early scramble that can be viewed positively by either side. From the offensive point of view, it begins to establish him as a possibility to keep it on certain plays. And defensive,
under pressure, and down he goes. Nolan Smith. Now 2 sacks for him already here in this first quarter of play. And they weren't in zone coverage, they were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
I know this offense was expecting to do big things, but it certainly hasn't turned out that way, at least not through the first 3 drives. They're definitely going to put their heads together and start concocting some offense that'll move the ball downfield.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. On the return, Johnson. They'll call this a 41-yard punt, 7 on the return, and the Lions will take over. Detroit's offense ready to take over. They've got a 7-0 lead in the football as well as they start out 1st and 10. Stroud. Now that'll be caught by St. Brown. Breaks through the contact. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. 28 yards the gain there on the catch and run.
And it's a real luxury when you have a guy who can turn a short throw into a solid gain at any moment. Once he caught that ball, he ID'd where the open grass was and got there in a hurry to pick up a new set of downs for his offense.
From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. Straight ahead with Gibbs here. Knifes his way forward here, but just 3 yards on the play, 2nd down.
Not a huge carry there on 1st down, but not all of them will be. But still, all in all, a positive play for the offense. It's all about picking up at least a few to set up what you're going to do here on 2nd down.
Stroud off the play fake. A little short pass here taken in by Laporta. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. 22 yards on the catch and run, a 1st down.
Another nice play there. They've gotten down into the red zone in no time at all. That's what this offense can do when they get on a roll. And now they're set up with a 1st and 10.
Back to throw. Here's Stroud. Over the middle, taken in by Neighbors. And he'll get 7 yards from the 17 to the 10 before he's taken down. Facing a 2nd and 3. Ball on the 10.
Here we go.
Gibbs straight ahead. And he takes this one in for the Lions touchdown. Jahmyr Gibbs with career touchdown number 60. And the Lions lead this now 13-0 here in the opening quarter of the ball game. So his great start to the season continues. He found the end zone time after time in the opener last week, and he does it again here in week 2.
And Brandon, we have a lot of coaches sell us week to week that there is no momentum, there is no carryover. Every game is its own entity. But after what we saw him do last week and now punching one in here, I'm starting to think that there is a carryover, and he's feeling it.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. The Vikings head out to take over once again. They find themselves in a good-sized hole here, and a good-sized hole early on in this game as they come up on 1st down. A handoff to start the drive to Mason. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first. But you're down early. How do you get back in the game, maybe establish the run? I think they're trying to do that.
Now I'm with you on that one, and what I like about the message is that there's no panic from the head coach. He's already told his offense coordinator, let's run the football, let's get things settled down a little bit, and find our way back into this game.
That one too wide and incomplete. You talk about this Lions defense. They were very strong last week in that win over Cleveland.
And all defensive teams that I know talk about creating turnovers, takeaways they call them. And anytime you can get 2 or more in a game, you've had a really, really good performance. They exceeded that number in a big way.
5 yards, now it's 3rd and 5.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
3rd and 5. McCarthy, he'll set to throw it. And that is incomplete.
1 first down here, and that's all, folks. Good work by this defense to hold things in check and force a punting situation.
So on 4th down, on is the punter, Ryan Wright. And he'll get off a fairly short kick here as this is toward the sideline. 35 yards that time on the punt, and they will take over 1st and 10. But Jahmyr Gibbs and the Lions offense getting set once again. And you see his numbers from a week ago. He was up over 100 yards then, and he's already hit pay dirt here once in this one.
We always talk about quarterbacks and receivers getting into rhythm, right? Really feeling good, finding each other downfield. I think running backs operate the same way. They can hit a good rhythm and a good stride, and he's carrying it over from last week.
2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. Now Stroud. It's complete to Williams. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this across the 25-yard line. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down. Final 30 seconds of this first quarter, and it's been a quarter dominated by the guys with the football. Room past the 35, and he's going to be out up around the 45-yard line. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
Stroud working out of the gun. This is caught by Williams. And this will be good for a pickup of 9 to the 46. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Second quarter action now from Detroit, and it's the homestanding Lions who have the football, as they've got it with a 2nd and 1 coming up. Out of the gun, they'll give to Gibbs. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. 6 yards to pick up, and that's a first down. Of course, remember last week, week number 1, quite the opener for him, NFC Offensive Player of the Week.
And he does not want to be a flash in the pan. He wants to have that type of a game each and every week. Let's see if he can get a second award in week 2 of the season.
He's got it to Williams. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. The catch and run, good for 18 and a first down.
So many times in my career, I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing. But as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
It's Williams on the catch. And they'll get this down to the 10. Another catch for him there. This one good for 11. First down. Now back to the ground. Here's Gibbs. And running room hard to come by here. He gets it down to the 8. Now, during that run, an injury here. We got one of those big blockers in some discomfort. Now, the medical staff is going to come out here and take a look, and we will take a short break. Here's a 2nd and 8. Stroud looking to throw. And that is caught. Touchdown, Detroit. Amon-Ra St. Brown. His first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Lions have moved out in front by 3 touchdowns. So this offensive unit, yeah, they were solid in the opening week victory, and now they are looking just as sharp here in week 2.
And that's exactly what you want, too, because you want to get better each and every week and really ramp up as the season goes on. I know it's still early in the season and a lot can happen, but this offense, they look like they're going to be fun to watch each and every time out.
Point after, right down the middle, and it's now 21-0. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. And the Vikings now heading on to the field. Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse that this is an important possession. But I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer because only a few teams in league history have ever come back from a 4-score deficit. And if they don't score here, that's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball.
Oh, that'll be incomplete. Well, he took a shot as he let that go. And it's going to bring up a third down.
All right, help me out here a little bit, partner, because what I'm seeing is a passing game that's just struggled to complete anything. No rhythm, no timing. Seems like every pass is also contested well, so give some credit to the defense.
And he will have a Vikings first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. It's been a very one-sided game so far. They got to change what they're doing right now, don't they? You can't wait till the halftime speech to make an adjustment.
No, you can't, because if you're doing it right, you're adjusting from series to series, and they need a big adjustment here to try and put some points on the board.
Yeah, boy, the strength on display there as he rumbles through tacklers for a gain of about 8.
Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball, but when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. They push him back 8 yards that time on second down.
That's a pretty darn good start to his season, huh? A sack in the opener, adds a second one here. That tells you about his offseason. He came in determined to have a big year, and it's paying off.
The Vikings on third down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 10. To the air with McCarthy. And the throw there going to be incomplete. The passing game not in sync here early. And now it's 4th down.
Well, he's smart enough to avoid the taunting rule, but I'll guarantee he quietly has told them, you might want to stop coming after me downfield because I just broke up another pass and took away a big shot that you were trying to succeed with.
And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. And they won't risk defending a return here. That one's out of bounds, and it'll be spotted at the 14-yard line. The Lions offense and C.J. Stroud getting ready for this next drive. And he's had things all his way in this first half. The numbers sensational as he'll look to add to them with another drive here. Drive starts with a run from Gibbs. And he'll work this forward for about 3 at second down.
So if you've been playing defense in this one, there's a little bit of the good and some bad because they did give up the touchdown run to him earlier but shut him down otherwise.
Outside of that, you're exactly right. I would say they've contained him very well. Second down, and they go back to Gibbs. And a short pickup there as he'll take this up to right around the 20. 2 yards the gain there, and now they're left with a 3rd and about 4 for a first.
He did have the touchdown run earlier, but not a heck of a lot more than that throughout this game.
No, not at all. In fact, I would say that this defense has done as good of a job on him as they have on any runner in recent memory. And he fires one, but incomplete.
That might be the 3rd down stop that they needed because they've had a lot of trouble slowing down this offense in the first half. This might be their opportunity to get off the field.
On 4th down, Jack Fox on to punt for Detroit. His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. So a change of possession here on the punt. And it will be Vikings ball, 1st and 10. Minnesota now ready for their next possession. And this, you'd hate to say that a drive in the first half must end in points, but you're down 21-0. They're going to have to get something going fairly quickly.
I would agree totally with that because if you're going to mount the comeback, it's going to have to come in bits and pieces. It doesn't just all come at one time, right? We haven't seen anything more than a 6-point touchdown ever in this game, right? So that's how it has to be done. Get points on the board now, start your comeback, but you're exactly right. Let's get it going right here in this spot.
Now a 2nd and 10. Throwing is McCarthy. Buying time to his left. Good coverage downfield led to him taking off, picking up the first down on a 13-yard run.
I can't be sure how much of that was planned pre-snap, but it certainly opens up some avenues for their offense. And if he can stay a threat to break off those kind of runs, it'll pull defenders away from coverage and open up some choice throwing lanes for him moving forward.
And he's going to be brought down here in the backfield. A well-designed corner blitz that gets him for a loss loss of 8 yards. So that now 4 first-half sacks. This pass rush has been unrelenting.
And partner, you hear that sound of paper being ripped to shreds? That's the game plan that they've had so far, because they've got to say to themselves right now, we have to do something differently.
Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Now McCarthy. He's got his tight end over the middle, T.J. Hockenson. A good pickup there, 18 yards as they get closer for 3rd down.
That's a good bounce back play right there after taking a sack on 1st down. Didn't quite get it to the marker, but now they're in a much better spot for a 3rd and short yardage call. If you're the offensive coordinator, you like looking at that section a heck of a lot better than trying to figure out 3rd and long.
He needed a yard. That's exactly what he got. Earns him a new set of downs.
We ought to come up with a T-shirt and sell it that says, no indecision on 3rd and 1. And we didn't see it on that run, did we? Got his shoulders square, just got right into the line of scrimmage and picked it up.
Absolutely. Picked his lane, went with it, and converted.
This could be the start of a nice stand from this defense now after getting walked backwards on this drive. Come through with another one here, and you have them staring at a 3rd and long, and that puts the defense in a position to dictate to the offense.
He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down. All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. And the Lions will take over here as they get it up to the 43-yard line. Well, we've seen a lot of mistakes here in this first half, and another there on the interception.
Yeah, they're certainly starting to pile up, aren't they? Because, let's face it, we expect a miscue here and there, but they're already down 3 scores and still giving the ball away. If they want to get back into this one, they've got to take care of the ball, because right now the way they're playing doesn't say a whole lot for their chances.
So here are the Lions to take over. They played the Browns last week, got the victory in that game, and so far so good as they've got the lead here. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 43. Here's Stroud. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. That is the first time that they've targeted him that he has not come down with a catch.
He's caught everything that's been thrown his way, a dominant pass receiver that can break down any defense, because when he's doing that kind of work, it really hurts you on the back end.
And even though it's an incompletion there, I think they're going back to that well. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or 2 shy of the 40. And he's had a lot of success throwing the ball here early. You see by the numbers, he's already up over 200 yards passing.
Here we go.
A give right side for Gibbs. And he'll take this one down to about the 40. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10.
Well, he worked his way quite a bit in this first half, and with good reason. You can see it there. He is such a handful defensively, just too hard to keep him under wraps, and delivers a big play here for this offense.
So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Back to throw. Stroud. That is caught at the 7-yard line. It'll be a gain of 5, and it'll be 2nd down.
Brings up 2nd and 5 at the 6-yard line.
All right.
Hand off now to Gibbs. And he gets halfway there from the 6 to the 3 on a gain of 3.
That play reminded me a lot of a former teammate of mine. We used to call him the trash man. His ability to sift through traffic and make plays was uncanny.
And that's exactly what you want from your Mike linebacker. From the gun on 3rd down, here's Stroud. Dancing to his left. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Sacked by Andrew Van Ginkel.
Tried to create a little bit of that hocus pocus with some magic. For the defense, not impressed at all. They don't lose contain on this very dangerous runner, and they get a big stop.
On fourth down, on is Jake Bates for the Lions field goal. Bates' kick is good, and the route is on. It's 24-0. So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense. The firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
Minnesota's offense takes over possession. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
You don't want to.
No, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
Oh, everything falling apart now. Another one intercepted. And he will bring it back. An interception return for a Lions touchdown. I mean, at this point, CD, what is not going their way in this first half? After that pick six, they now have a 4-possession lead here.
And that allows them to say to themselves, how about we get everybody involved, okay? Because this one is a runaway, and it's looking like it's going to be even more of a runaway. Everybody gets a chance to play and get a little bit of love. The more guys that get to watching the highlight reels from this one, the better.
Extra point attempt to follow here. And the route is on here in this first half. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six, and now the kick is away. And he takes this near the 25, just a little pass there, call it the 26. And now out comes Minnesota. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. On play action, now McCarthy. And that'll be incomplete. We do have a penalty flag down, however. Let's see what that's about. Well, as a lineman, they are trained. You've got to stay close to home. If you're more than a yard downfield, they're going to toss that flag, and they did there. Operating from the gun, McCarthy. And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes. They'll wind up losing a full 9 yards here on the sack. Now it's 3rd down.
I'm starting to wonder if this offensive line just simply doesn't like him. I mean, they've given up 6 sacks in this game. He's had nowhere to go, nowhere to run, and obviously nowhere to hide.
And all those sacks in the first half, this is just complete domination. And this offense on 3rd down today, lacking much success, just 2 for 7 to this point. This is 3rd and 17. On the delay, Jones. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. He loses 4, and it brings up 4th.
Well, I think it's back to the drawing board, or should I say in today's game, the Surface tablet after this drive. 3 plays, they go backwards. They look like they've gotten something going right there, but they'll have to punt the football away to end this one.
And here's Ryan Wright now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And now a fair catch called for and taken just outside the 40-yard line. The Lions offense and receiver Amon-Ra St. Brown set to go once more. And seemingly every time they've looked his way in this first half, it has resulted in a big play, as borne out by the numbers. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. Now 2nd and 9. And Stroud now to throw. A little short pass here taken in by Laporta.
I know sometimes we can get fooled when we watch him make catches, as we just saw him do there, because he really looks like a wide receiver the way he goes about his business.
Yeah, 230, 240 range.
Yeah, not super huge. Maybe not counted on to be that.
No, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. And the Vikings are going to take over a couple of yards shy of midfield. They are in an interception mood on defense. Had 2 nice interceptions a week ago. Now 2 here in the first half.
Yeah, we call it ball hawking. And the only way to truly be good ball hawks is not guessing. It's not just simply anticipation. It's study and understanding what they like to do and beating them to the spot and creating big plays.
Well, they're watching the film, and it's working. Minnesota's offense takes over possession. They start near midfield following the interception as they begin 1st and 10. They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10, just shy of midfield at the 48. Here's McCarthy. And he's got the hook up to Moore. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. They'll look to throw here on 1st down. Incomplete, but a penalty flag is down in the backfield. Let's get the call. Well, there have been a ton of sacks. They were just trying to prevent another.
So what you're telling me is the conventional way has not really worked for them, huh?
Not at all.
Not at all. So he tries to grab him here, and they still get caught.
A dump off for Mason. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. And this is going to be incomplete.
Down several scores and playing behind the chains is not the way to have success in this one. Right now, if you're the offensive line, your big concern, protecting your quarterback and giving him a chance to try and throw something downfield to pick up the needed yardage.
Jefferson going to go in motion right. 3rd down. Here's Mason. And he might have got this across midfield, not by much. They'll mark it down at the 49. The Lions now going to use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. And here's Ryan Wright now as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. No returning this one. It sails out of bounds, and they'll spot it right at the 20. The Lions now taking over late in this first half. And with a little under a minute to go, still time to try to put a drive together to add to their lead should they so choose. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. That's to the sideline and incomplete.
Well, he certainly thought he had a window to push that ball downfield, but as soon as he released the throw, the corner was there to slam that window shut.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Stroud to throw it. That one taken in by Neighbors. And the Lions quickly now going to use the last of their timeouts as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. Throwing now is Stroud. A quick throw knocked away and incomplete.
So many times when we talk about coverage, we're just about a defender running with a receiver, but a big part of it is understanding where the football is, finding it. In this case, when it arrived, it wasn't a surprise, and he was able to bat it away.
St. Brown making the catch on the out route. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. The production sensational here early on. That last catch going to put him up over 100 yards receiving already in this first half of play. Stroud. Oh, the turnover fest continues. Here's another interception. Mekhi Blackman's got it. Down to the 10. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. So maybe some signs of life. I mean, this has been a defense. They've been all over the map here in this first half, but they're coming through with a big play.
And sometimes that one play is what you need. And it sounds overly simple, but this is a team that was close to being down and out before halftime. So to come back and return the interception for a touchdown, that's big.
Yeah, maybe it can serve, Charles, like you were alluding to, as a little bit of a wake-up call for them. We'll see. Out comes the kicking team here for the extra point. And he's got it as the score is now 31-7. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick six. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. Oh, a dangerous return man showing it here. And a good return, able to get out across the 35 to the 36. We're going to look at Amon-Ra St. Brown as his offense readies for the next drive. Making his presence felt early in this one. First half, already over the century mark.
How about the yards per completion, too? That's a pretty darn good number there. Number of catches, but he's shredding defenses, getting big yardage with each and every one of them.
And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
But I guess that answers the question whether or not they want him throwing it again right away after throwing the pick six on the previous drive.
Yeah, not something conservative or underneath. Pretty big shot right there.
Get him right back in the saddle and said, go ahead and sling it, big guy.
The throw here right sideline falls incomplete.
Nice back-to-back plays defensively. They're stacking momentum now. One incompletion, two incompletion. They're going for more.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Stroud sets up the play action. And this one is incomplete.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up, not that time. And here now the punter Fox as he sends this one away. Fair catch signaled for and taken just shy of the 30-yard line. It's just a 32-yard punt with no return. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before halftime. All that remains is to snap this once, and that'll do it for the first half of play. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we'll send you down to Orlando, we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you two in a bit. For now, plenty of early game action around the NFL to get you caught up on, so let's get to it. We'll get our tour started out at Venerable Soldier Field in Chicago. And it's the home side who have the lead as they play the second quarter. Brian Robinson, 2 touchdown runs on the afternoon. From there, we head down to Tennessee to check on the Titans at home in Nashville. And you can see, currently they trail in that ball game. Marvin Mims, 2 touchdown catches on the afternoon. Finally, let's get to Indianapolis to check on the Colts at home at Lucas Oil Stadium. And you can see they have the lead over the visiting Seahawks. Josh Downs with 3 touchdown receptions. We just watched a very good first half out of the Ohio State man, C.J. Stroud. He's got 2 touchdown passes already, but he's also thrown 2 interceptions. So it was feast or famine whenever his guys had the football. This was an extremely one-sided first half. One team showed up ready to go. The other's been in a daze thus far, but there's still plenty of time left for this one to tighten up significantly.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Lions in the lead, and they're going to get the football first as well as the second half is underway. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. The Lions offense and their quarterback set to take the field once more. And as we show you some of the highlights from earlier, he has been instrumental in getting his guys the lead as he looks to finish strong and close this one out. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. Throwing to start the drive. Stroud. A little short pass here taken in by Laporta. They'll give him 4 yards there, and it'll be second down.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
It's a 5-yard gain, but they'll still be a yard short here with third down now looming.
He hadn't had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. And boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
And in their own territory, needing only a few inches, they're going to line up to go for this thing on fourth down. They'll try and run for it. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. They only needed a few inches, but still some anxious moments there, but they do convert on fourth. Oh, on the defensive side, that is so deflating.
Not only is it deflating, they've got to look in each other's eyes on that side of the ball and take each other's measure. You've got them backed up, perfect situation, and what they said to you on the other side is, we don't think you can stop us. Went ahead and got it in that position. That should never happen.
And now they'll stop play here, at least momentarily. A member of the Vikings in some discomfort after that last play. While they come out and take a look at him, we will step aside for just a moment. Second down and 4. They'll bring a tight end in motion left. On the give, here's Gibbs. And he'll do a nice job here just to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play that time, and they'll look to convert on what will be a 3rd and 4. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL, and he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
The numbers throwing the ball have been great. He's up over 300 yards now for the game. So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. Now run by Gibbs. And give him 6 yards here as he's stopped near the 35 at the 34.
Looks to me like maybe there's a little attrition setting in with this drive, because when you see that type of a run, I get the feeling the defense getting a little bit tired.
And that's the last thing they need, especially when they look up at the scoreboard. Second down, and they go back to Gibbs. And he's able to work his way down inside the red zone to the 19-yard line. 68 yards for him on the ground now on 18 carries. A lot to praise on this drive, obviously. I know you're seeing what I'm seeing. Those guys up front, they're getting it done.
Doesn't matter what play is called. They are handling their business at the line of scrimmage and dominating right now on this drive.
So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20. They'll go again with Gibbs. And he's only going to get a yard from the 20 to the 19.
He's had success on this drive, but not on this play.
Finally, they bowed up defensively. I think they were determined not to let him take it pretty much all the way down the field.
Yeah, it looks like they handled their run responsibilities correctly this time. What we call them run fits, everyone was in the right place.
They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
From the gun on 3rd down. Stroud work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And the Lions are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points. Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision right now of everything that was discussed at the half just being torn in shreds or being erased off of the Microsoft Surface tablets because none of it is working. They are really locked in on offense.
Gibbs is in for a Lions touchdown. Just power football there down near the goal line. Give it to him. He's able to push his way across.
Yeah, they went heavy there. Sometimes you have those big offensive linemen come in, have to report like they're eligible, but all they're doing is getting a good stance, blocking, and getting their runner across the goal line.
Now the extra point try forthcoming. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So that drive spans 13 plays. And it was all capped off by a touchdown run from Jahmyr Gibbs. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. The Vikings offense and J.J. McCarthy getting ready to go back to work. And it's been a struggle for him all afternoon. This defense has really done a nice job of making him earn everything he gets, and it's prevented him from getting into any kind of rhythm here today. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. There go play action. Here's McCarthy. This will be caught downfield by Moore. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. A good pickup there, 26 yards. So the ball moves into Lion territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. On play action, McCarthy. A quick throw there is incomplete. What a difference a week makes. Last week he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number, not in this league. But a drop under 50%, that just tells me that the defense...
Over the middle, and there's a diving catch. Another good completion on the drive as the Vikings have a 1st down.
I'd have to say that whenever you see a good post route run, they do not like to let it end without the catch. Hence, that great diving play.
Yeah, lay it up there, let him go get it, and he got it. McCarthy off the play fake. Going underneath, he's got Hawkinson, and he is out of bounds inside the 30.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged...
And it'll be intercepted. It's Brian Branch with it. And the Lions are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. So still no touchdowns allowed by this defense. They get the interception there. CD, they have been rock solid.
And at this point, I think they have to expect that they're going to see some shots taken down the field. And that was almost a desperation throw right there, just kind of hoping something good can happen, a completion, a pass interference. But this was anticipated well, and they came up with the INT.
And Detroit back in possession of the football. And as we look back at how we got here, you'll notice a common theme in these highlights. A lot of yardage through the air. The passing game has been sharp right from the outset. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And that last touchdown drive, a good mix of pass and run. Defensively, they just looked a little out of whack.
And it's so hard to stay up with an offense that has things going so well, where you're guessing and guessing wrong play after play. So what you need is someone on the defensive side of the ball
leader, right?
to make a big play.
Yeah.
Throw that balance out of whack. That's what you're looking for now. Not worrying so much about guessing what the play call is.
Oh, short pass here taken in by Laporta.
Let's not quibble about the game there on second down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now it gives a much better opportunity to convert on third down.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. Gibbs will try and pick it up. He is going nowhere as he is enveloped behind the line. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a fourth down. Nothing fancy really on either side. They were just trying to punch it between the tackles, but could not get it done.
That felt very old schoolish, didn't it? Because we always talk about how we spread it out on offense nowadays and try and create some running lanes. That one was really tight. Go get it. A big pile of bodies. Didn't quite get there.
And on fourth down, on is the punt team sending this one away. A 40-yard punt, no return. And the Vikings will take over here, 1st and 10. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. And this group has suffered far too many self-inflicted wounds thus far as we run through some of the mistakes. It's darn near impossible to win in this league when you're turning the ball over at the frequency that they have. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. It's a game that they would rather probably forget about, at least to this point, Charles. And one reason is turnovers. The turnover on the last drive, they had the issue in the first half as well, and that's really, unfortunately for them, helped to put this game out of reach.
And you know they won't admit it to themselves, but we know that winning the game is pretty much out of the picture now. So their bottom line is, how do they play a clean game the rest of this one, right? Take care of the football, no more turnovers, and see how that works.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. It's Brian Branch with it. And the Lions are in great shape here as they take over at their 46-yard line. Charles coming up with another interception. They have really done an excellent job of locking up these receivers.
Yeah, they're really on fire. They are actually doing what they talk about all the time, which is plastering to receivers when they're in their zones. They didn't give up a touchdown in the first half. Haven't done so here in this half either. Blanketed the field going all the way back to the opening drive, and they come up with a pick right there.
So good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 46. And they start things off with a carry by Gibbs here. And they'll get this just to the 47, 1-yard gain.
Oh, there's plenty of traffic waiting for him up the middle. But give him credit, he tried barreling through anyway. They're fortunate to get a yard out of that one.
In motion left goes a tight end. Back to throw. Here's Stroud. Now that'll be caught by St. Brown. And he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30. Well, this defense just has not been able to keep him under wraps. That's now 10 catches for him in the ball game. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Now Stroud. That's complete to Laporta. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. Another big hitter there. This one good for 18.
This offensive game plan has just been sensational. I mean, when you think about all the different ways they've gotten their receivers open so far, it's really been impressive. Scheme, design, execution.
Quick hitter here. It's complete. The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And it's 2nd down.
And let's face it, you can put any Halloween costume on him. You're not going to be able to disguise him because for a tight end of his size, difficult to sneak him anywhere, but that's what they tried to do. Lined up on his right, tried to work his way back to his left, but just a minimal gain as the defense was able to react quickly.
And that'll fall incomplete. He was hit just as he let that go. And now it's 3rd down.
Well, Brandon, we see why it's a team game there because there's a sigh of relief that they just released defensively. If he's able to get that one away, that's likely a touchdown. But instead, that pressure from the front got to him and forced the incompletion.
You're right. He had him open just a split second too late on the release. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Caught that look from you there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch. I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the second half.
They've got 3 tight ends here on 1st and goal to add some extra mass. They'll run with Gibbs. And he is not going to get through here on try number 1. They stop him at the goal line. So that run play nullified by the holding call on the tight end.
Yeah, I just think he needs to get off the ball a lot quicker and get into the block a little bit more effectively. Then he doesn't have to reach and grab and try and hold on.
Again, it's Stroud. And it's caught. That will go as a pickup of 7 on the 7th play of the drive. So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. They'll try to run with Gibbs. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Jahmyr Gibbs with his 3rd touchdown of the game, number 7 on the year. And the Lions just continue to roll.
Well, this offensive line has really stepped up to the challenge here because those Mastodons, they've been sensational clearing holes all game long. And this is great work down here near the goal line to give their back the space he needs to work his way into the end zone.
Extra point right down the middle. And the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota.
Well, this has been a tough one for them, Charles. They've struggled really on both sides of the football. And one thing that's really plagued them, the turnovers. They've had issues keeping the football in their possession.
And every game that's ever been played, all coaches talk about taking care of the football and limiting turnovers. And in this one, after we saw that first turnover, we worried that things would snowball. And it certainly did, especially on the scoreboard.
They'll wind up losing 8 on the sack there, and it's 2nd down.
Offensively, they're going to have to figure this out before next week. 7 sacks in one game.
Yeah, that's more than any quarterback should have to bear. And if this continues on, there will be another quarterback in the game because no one can stand up to this week after week.
So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down.
McCarthy, he'll set to throw it.
Under pressure, they got him again.
Dexter Lawrence picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down.
From the shotgun, McCarthy.
And this is going to be incomplete.
We've talked about it, CD, but it bears repeating. They are struggling to throw the football. All the interceptions and more incompletions. It just doesn't look like things are in sync out there.
I would agree with that, and it's not a good day when you feel like an incomplete pass is almost a win for you because it wasn't intercepted. And I think the receivers now, when they're running their routes, they want to catch the ball, but they also want to make sure that the defenders don't take it away.
The home team's offense and Jahmyr Gibbs headed back onto the field.
And you have to imagine this defense saying, how do we stop this guy? He has run roughshod through him to this point in the 3rd quarter. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive.
Stroud looking to throw.
Firing quickly here, and that's complete. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and it's 2nd down.
And I think he just wanted to get the ball to one of his playmakers to see if they can make something happen, but he ends up throwing into a crowded area. And after the catch, he isn't able to do much with it.
And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. Call that a loss of a yard, and things get a little more difficult here, 3rd and 5.
Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. You know what the converse is, though? You've got to win those one-on-one blocks, and when you don't, that's the result you end up with.
Oh, this will be incomplete. The rush gets home just as he was letting that go. That could have been worse. Instead, it's 4th down.
Here comes the Lions punter now, as he's on for the 5th time here today. And that'll hit at the 5 and go into the end zone for a touchback.
Minnesota's offense takes over possession. See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled-out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He'd love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this 3rd quarter. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Back now at Ford Field. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair.
Looking to throw McCarthy.
Open man, he's got him, the tight end Hawkinson. He'll be dropped at the 25 after a gain of 6. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means they have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Oh, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this 2nd half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
And he's brought down. Can't do anything with the football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. The Vikings unable to convert here on 4th. And now possession will go over inside the 15-yard line. So they've gone for it twice now on 4th down in this game, and both times unsuccessful.
I wish we could hear the headsets now between the head coach and the offensive coordinator. Now that they're 0 for 2, if they get into a 3rd situation, head coach might say, hey, you got anything for this one? Might get radio silence back.
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10.
All right.
Hand off to Gibbs, headed right here.
And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, they held him to a short gain on that one, and it almost felt like on that first run, they were trying to just throw the jab at him. So how do you stop a jab? Get closer and smother it, just as they did on that last play.
Second down, and they go back to Gibbs.
And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage.
Holding offense.
So it's the big left tackle who gets tagged with a hold.
And sometimes you're actually executing the block well, and he starts to slip off of you, and instinctively you reach out and grab him. And when it's done like that, it's often seen by the official and called.
It'll go down as a gain of 6. And that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 situation.
The numbers there tell the story. That last completion could have moved him up over 400 yards passing now for the game.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long.
Finding Williams once more, complete.
And they'll rally and stop him short of the 1st down at about the 6. So the completion good for 7 there. And that'll bring up 4th down.
Out is Jake Bates to try the field goal.
From the right hash, and this one just a chippy.
Bates' kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So the starting field position was terrific following the surprising turnover on downs, but the end result, only 3 points.
Simply stated, I think you have to look at that as a missed opportunity.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
Hard to believe his first catch of the game defensively. They bottled him up. That's why they're well on their way to victory.
Put your best cover guy on him and then change the coverages behind him throughout the game. Brackets, double, zone, man, you name it. Make sure he gets a lot of angles.
And Hockenson going to have the Vikings first down as he'll be brought down at the 38-yard line. Now McCarthy. Over the middle and complete to Addison. That'll go for a gain of 7, and that'll make it second down.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, you often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down. Now, this is certainly one of the bigger losses that we are going to see for quite some time. And you have to think at this point where we're at in the fourth quarter with how wide this advantage is. For this offense, they're just trying to end things with a positive drive and then get the heck out of here.
Yeah, if this had been a concert, you would have heard plenty of sour notes in this one. But they certainly don't want to end it on one. They want to put together a few more throws like that and at least have a final drive to give them a little bit more hope as they move forward.
From the shotgun, a give to Jones. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
An 8-yard pickup. First down, Minnesota.
Straight ahead, here's Mason. A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
On the ground again, it's Mason. And he'll be brought down at about the 25 after a pickup of 4.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
They'll hand it to Mason. And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave him with a 4th down.
Brandon, you're a big lover of music. How about what you just saw there? This is what I call playing the piano for a defensive lineman. The ability to move laterally up and down the line of scrimmage. How about the way he just flowed and got to the outside part of the field and made that play?
And his kick is good. And they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. Well, in the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. You just kind of feel for the defense right now. This deficit, they have not been able to stop them the entire game, Charles. And some hands on hips, some long faces out there on the defensive side. They're like, oh, my gosh, we got to face these guys again here.
Yeah, people don't understand how hard it is when you're on the side that's being dominated to keep your head up and continue to play hard. And that's what they're going through right now, trying to find that pride inside of them to allow them to continue to fight, even though they are down huge in this game.
Second down, and they go back to Gibbs. And he stopped after a gain of 1. Not enough. Still a yard to go on 3rd down.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And he is going to have a Lions first down as they're able to get the third down conversion. And his fine afternoon on the ground continues. That last run going to put him over 100 yards for the ball game. Now, this offense really looking polished these first couple of weeks. Here's 1st and 10. Straight ahead with Gibbs here. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. Second down coming up.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
Counter play. Here's Gibbs.
And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. Call it a gain of a yard, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 5. Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the 4th quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
And he gets this one inside the 15, just a yard or 2 shy of the 10. A big play there on the catch and run. 33 yards. Boy, another big play late here for an offense, Charles. It certainly has had its fair share of big plays.
Coverage has been a problem all game long, and I would say that going along with that has been confidence. Because even if they had the right coverage, they've still dented them, and now it's been a real issue for them during this game.
On 1st and 10, here's Gibbs.
And he'll take this one inside the 10 down to the 8. Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
A shotgun snap to Stroud.
His pass caught at the 4. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit.
Malik Neighbors. His 2nd touchdown of the game, his 3rd on the year. And the Lions are on their way to a 2-0 start.
No going for 2. They'll kick the point after. And this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. So that drive goes 8 plays. And the end result, a Detroit touchdown. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away.
And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. Minnesota's offense takes over possession.
And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
They'll be going for 6.
Dexter Lawrence getting him once again his 3rd sack of the afternoon.
But one thing I do know, these guys on defense, they don't want this game to end. They're winning by multiple touchdowns. They've shut down the opposing quarterback in a big way, and they're still picking up sacks as we approach the end of this one.
So now 20 yards to go on 2nd down after the sack. Work to be done.
Throwing is McCarthy.
And he drops it incomplete. And their struggles continue here.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. And that will be incomplete as well.
At this point in the game, they've got got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
And here's Ryan right now, standing right on his own 5-yard line. A 40-yard punt, give him 3 on the return, and the Lions will take over. Jahmyr Gibbs and the rest of the offense headed back out. I guess it kind of goes without saying at this point, but he's had a great game, as we like to say, a nose for the end zone, no doubt.
Continues to find it throughout this game, and I'm sure he's got a nice place to live. He might want to make an offer on the end zone for a second home, because that's what it's been like throughout this contest. He knows how to get there, and boy, he looks happy when he does.
He's already bought all the property in the end zone. That's the problem. He's going to sell to himself now. From just shy of midfield, here's 2nd and 5. Another run for Gibbs here. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. 121 yards rushing for him now, as he has been tremendous all day long. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
Coming up on the final 2.5 minutes. And boy, has it been fun to watch this offense operate. Quite the display, and now they look to polish it off.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 4 coming up. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. They've got a 3rd down now as they look for one more 1st down to help salt this one away.
As Stroud now to throw. They intercept Stroud again, the 3rd time in this game.
Picked off by Quandre Diggs.
And the Vikings are going to get the football here as he gets this up to the 38-yard line.
Now they get a 4th quarter pick. A little something to hang their hat on, I guess.
Okay, so let's face it, though. Who's happy about this play? Fantasy guys, right?
Yeah.
The analytics will tell you one thing or another. That's a bad play on one hand, a good play on the other, but it's all about the fantasy points here.
Yeah, because this ball game is over.
And out now come the Vikings. Well, CD, it's all window dressing at this point. I mean, the best they can do is in the game with a nice drive to maybe build some momentum to move forward into their next contest.
Yeah, and with how lopsided this game has been, even one score might not do a lot of cosmetic good on the scoreboard, partner, because it's just about looking forward at this point. Get a touchdown here, give yourself some positive momentum and reps to focus on when you get back to practice in the next couple of days.
Here's 2nd and 10. Here's McCarthy.
This has been a rough one, to put it mildly, for him. And after this one's done, you just feel like at the post-game press conference, this team's going to have a lot of questions and definitely not a lot of answers.
They come up to the line now facing a 3rd and 10 after the incompletion.
To the air with McCarthy.
Over the middle, complete.
That's Mason. And he'll go down to the ground at the 39, and obviously that's well short of the 1st. They'll get only a yard out of that, and it'll bring up 4th down. And here's Ryan right now as he's on to punt for Minnesota. .42 yards on the punt, just 2 on the return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
And Detroit getting set to go now.
And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point.
And he is brought down at the 22 after a gain of 2, and it brings up 2nd down.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead, positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
From the 22, here's 2nd and 8.
Gibbs straight ahead. It'll be a gain of 5, but still about 3 yards shy of the first down marker, and now it's 3rd down.
That's a really nice job by them picking up the run blitz and detecting it and blocking it and turning it into a nice run. And a lot of times you think if you blitz a running play, you're going to smother it. But a lot of the blitzers, they come in a little bit high. They don't have great leverage, and they're easily blocked and turned to the side.
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gunn, and this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. It's a win for the Lions as we say so long from Ford Field.